Lisa Hendey is now joining us from CatholicMom.com. Thank you, Lisa, for being with us. I'm so excited that you're here on The Gist.
Hey, thanks, Danielle. It's always awesome to be with you. And I think I was actually on maybe the very first Gist. So
yes.
I'm psyched to be back.
This is thrilling in our 7th season to have a repeat of one of our star guests and a favorite with everybody. So, Lisa, you're founder of CatholicMom.com, but you've got some new things going on over there. Can you tell us what's new with CatholicMom.com?
We do. It's funny, Danielle, when you introduced me of CatholicMom.com, my heart went a little flutter because we've had some exciting news, and that's that our organization has actually officially joined Holy Cross Family Ministries. And so we are now a part of the organization that was founded by Father Patrick Payton. It's a real blessing.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And we've had them on, too. So it's all in the family. So are there going to be changes at CatholicMom.com as a result of that, or what can people expect?
The biggest thing that you can expect is that now we have this amazing infrastructure. You know, Holy Cross is obviously the congregation of Holy Cross. We'll have now daily priestly oversight of the website, and
Wonderful.
We'll join their mission to serve in 16 countries around the world. So hopefully a lot of our content will now be available in multiple languages. And probably the biggest change for me personally is that my own role is changing a little bit with the site. So that's a change.
Right, you're going to be moving on and focusing on some of your own writing projects, I understand. So that would include your Chime Travelers series of books for kids. Tell us a little bit about what that series is like.
Yeah, so here's a peek at one of them, just in case you haven't seen them before. So it's a series of 5 books that I've written for children, fiction, based upon the lives of the saints, but actually about a brother and sister who have every kid's dream and every mom's dream too, to travel in time and to meet different Catholic saints and to learn from their lives and their values.
Wow. I mean, you know, did you ever picture that you were going to be a children's author years back when you were starting CatholicMom.com?
No, it's the way my life goes. And Danielle, you know, I have talked about this before. When you tell God, yes, I'll do whatever you put in my path, then it's amazing how he blesses you. And so this is just one of those blessings. And it's been a great joy to learn from the kids and to learn through this series.
Wow, yeah, and it's such a great series, and it's been so well received, and I just hear rave reviews all the time from kids and teachers. And now part of this project, you've been visiting schools, going on school visits. So could you maybe explain to us a little bit about how that works and how the books can be used maybe in religious ed at parishes?
Yes, absolutely. The books are being used in classrooms and homeschooling groups and families. And what I do is visit, often by Skype. These are just free 30-minute visits that are made available to teachers or catechists or homeschooling mom groups. And basically Skype in, talk with the kids about 2 things, which is the fact that each of us is called to be a saint in the making. And then each of us is a storyteller. We have the best story in the world to tell the story of God's love for us. And it's been just such a gift to get out and to share these books in this way.
Yeah, it sounds like you're really just kind of branching out with your ministry to moms, first of all, which is where it all started, but now to those children who, I know children have always been a part of your life with your own kids and then with your nieces and your nephews. And I like that you mentioned that there are lessons in the book and things that we can learn.
Yes.
So what kinds of lessons are kids learning in these books?
So the biggest thing, you know, one of the things that we wanted to do with this book is place it in a very authentically Catholic setting. So it's in a Catholic parish with a Catholic family, but they're not perfect, as none of our families are. And so these kids mess up a little bit. And in the course of the time travel, they're confronting in their real world very real problems, things like bullying or body image or too much screen time. And so when they we call it chime traveling because they travel with the Angelus bells or various bells that happen in and around Catholic churches. When they chime travel, they have to actually learn a lesson from the saint they visit in order to come back to their real world and to apply that lesson.
Okay, so these saints that we're learning about, I mean, I think it's such a great mission that you have in that regard because we have such a richness in our church tradition and in the communion of saints that there's such diversity there and so much for us to learn. What do you hope to pass on to a next generation with regard to their understanding of the saints and the role that we play in the communion of saints?
So one of the things that I always talk with the kids about is the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, that each of us is called to be a saint in the making. And you learn, I did meticulous research for the books on the lives of the saints. You learn that they were not perfect, that we are all human, but that there was something that they aspired to in their life, a oneness with Christ that you and I can too, each in our own way. And I love that we've got different saints, so they all come at it from a different perspective. But it just, I think, gives me hope and gives the kids hope that saintliness is not just for, the religious sister who's cloistered. It's for any of us. And the kids can really understand that their own call to sanctity is happening right now in the context of their life.
I love that. And it's so important because I think you're right. We can fall into those patterns of thinking, and it's important to help our kids not to do the same, of thinking the saints are kind of like statues or they were born perfect, so that's like a different life from our own. We're not necessarily called to that. In that regard, do you have a favorite saint? Who inspires you?
Well, it's funny. I mean, my favorite saint is often whoever's on the calendar for that day, but I have two all-time favorites. The first book is called The Secret of the Shamrock, and it's written about the life of St. Patrick, who I'm named for. If I had been a boy, my name would have been Patrick. And in my heart, he is just my favorite, not only because of my family's Irish heritage, but because of his work in the evangelization in a very challenging time that, like you and I faced, Danielle.
Right, sure.
So I love him. And then my second favorite is St. Therese of Lisieux, who just, although she's so sweet, was also just a missionary warrior from the context of a very confined space, like moms often are. She rocked the world. And so I look to her for her role model and for her little way.
Wow. So St. Patrick and St. Therese, two warriors for the church. And I think you are too, Lisa. I'm so thrilled that you've shared with us a little bit about your work in the church today, and especially with the young people. Thank you so much for what you're doing at CatholicMom.com and with the Chime Travelers. And thank you for taking the time to be here with us today.
Thank you, Danielle, and God bless all of you at The Gist. I can't wait to watch 7 more seasons. 21 more. 7 times 7.
We'll be here for you, Lisa. And now we'll be back with more of The Gist.